Southurst reporting for bitsonline.com. We're at the Satoshi's Vision conference in Tokyo, and I'm talking to Antony Zegers of Bitcoin Unlimited. Now, Bitcoin Unlimited is actually organizing this conference, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Why? Why did you do it?
Basically, it's just to bring together developers and people in the community to present what they're working on, get together and talk and connect. Yeah, it's actually the third conference we've helped organize. So,
right.
And they're growing every time, and yeah, it's just something to help promote Bitcoin Cash and try to help everyone build the community. And
can I ask why did you choose Tokyo this time?
Basically, we had done 2 previous conferences. The first one was in San Francisco, and then we partnered with the Future of Bitcoin to do and they did a conference in Arnhem, and so we did North America and Europe, and we have so we wanted to do Asia somewhere, and we just happened to have a lot of members in Tokyo, so it seemed like a nice time in cherry blossom season to come here. Perfect. So we figured that made sense.
Right.
We ran with it.
Okay, and this is actually the first of the conferences since the hard fork actually happened. Is that right, too?
This is the first one we had done. The Arnhem one was just prior to the hard fork, where Bitcoin Cash was created. So it's funny because we're not necessarily the original, and like we had planned to do this conference before Bitcoin Cash even existed. So it wasn't necessarily planned as a Bitcoin Cash conference, but once everyone was excited about that, it pretty much took off as pretty much focused on Bitcoin Cash. Although we are welcoming of other people, and we're happy to have people from different projects and so on come and present if they're doing interesting work.
Well, that was actually a question I had. I mean, is Satoshi's Vision actually a Bitcoin Cash conference, or does it just happen to feature a lot of Bitcoin Cash people?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. It pretty much just happens to feature a lot of them. Like I said, we're not intending to. We don't want to exclude anyone. And we're happy to, we're interested in interesting technologies, and we just want to build money and technologies that will enable all kinds of cool stuff in the future. Like, we really believe in this vision of, making money that can, if it works out in the best case scenario, it's the civilization changing technology that can really have a huge impact on the world. So that's really our goal. It just happens that right now it seems like Bitcoin Cash is the avenue that seems to have it actually is the most focused on that goal, and seems to have the highest chance of achieving that in most of our opinions, I'd say. So that just is kind of where the focus is.
Gotcha, right. So this is more of a technical conference. I think the topics of the talks I've seen have been less about like cheerleading and more about discussing actual issues within the technical development.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where our roots are. So that just kind of naturally came about that way. The roots of Bitcoin Unlimited is, it is essentially people interested in the technical issues and developers and theory about economics and how it all works. So that's kind of where it all sprung from. And I also think that, now there's a lot of excitement around it too. So we are seeing, we are growing a lot, and there's lots of community and various enthusiasts. But the technology, if we want to have a big impact, we need to still work on the technology and build it out. So that's an important thing to work on. And there's lots of room for other people to focus on all kinds of things.
Yeah, for sure, right.
Yeah.
And I think the topic of your talk was the transaction order in blocks.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're specifically working on at the moment?
Not really, but it's just something that it's sort of a low-level implementation detail. But once you start looking at the ramifications of it, like as I had mentioned before, this could be a huge technology, a huge thing that could have a big impact if it grows a lot. And these little low-level things can basically lay the foundation for that possible growth in the future. So I just see it as, right now, it's like Bitcoin Cash works great right now.
Yeah.
And this is just something that's like looking ahead to lay the groundwork for the future. So Yeah.
So do you consult fairly often with the guys who run the other full node clients like Bitcoin XT, Bitcoin ABC, that kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, I actually help out a lot with Bitcoin ABC.
Okay, right.
I was one of the people helping Amari out at the beginning because I felt like what he was doing, and is still doing is great, and I'm trying to do everything I can to help build up Bitcoin ABC. I think they should all. I think Bitcoin, all the different implementations and so on should, be made better and be constantly trying to, I want them all to be better, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm focused a lot on Bitcoin ABC myself, actually.
Right.
And trying to.
So there's a fair bit of cross-pollination.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think the competition thing isn't we can cooperate. It's more of a redundancy thing. Everyone can work together, but also work on what they feel is important and pursue the path forward they think is best. So
it's kind of an interesting way of doing things rather than just having one core group. I wish I could use that word. one central group.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it makes sense to. Yeah, cooperation is a good thing in this sphere. I think so. It's good that we're all talking and working together. We all share the same vision in the grand scheme of things. So, I think it's good.
Fantastic. Okay, then. So, if anyone's interested, where can they find out more of your work?
I'm known as Mengerian online.
How do you spell that?
Mengerian.
Okay.
It's named after Karl Menger, who was the Austrian economist who.
Someone you should all know.
Yeah. He was one of the first economists to really study money in a way that made sense. So I figured that was a good reference for economics of money and all that. So and if they want to find out more about the conference, Satoshi'sVisionConference.com.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.